A very happy Tuesday morning to the New Mexico United family. Hello, Black and Yellow Nation. We're back. We're back for another one. I think we all sort of know the drill by now, right, Gaffer? We're going to tease them for a little bit, talk about this newest player signing, and then we're going to introduce them to him in real time. So let's go ahead and hop right into it, because I think we have an interesting story sort of how this player's path led them to the first team. So just talk a little bit about this individual, how you met them, the experiences you've had with them, all that fun jazz.
Yeah, so it's June of 2018, and I'm coming into my first interview with USL New Mexico is what it was called then, as you can recall, Lucas. And there's Peter Trevisani, there's Amanda Powers, Ron Patel, and Lucas Cash. So that's all that I was interviewing in front of. And then there was these a couple interns as well, and these interns are twin brothers, one of which we're going to be unveiling here soon. So I had to convince not only some staff members, but some interns who had a pretty good background in soccer that I was the candidate to select to lead this pro soccer team. And fast forward, 6 to 8 months later, and I had this young man out for a few training sessions during the summer, and he did fantastic with us at that point in our first season in 2019. We stayed in touch throughout 2020, and here we are today, a really, really quality person and human being. He's from New Mexico, which we always value in such a great way. And more importantly than that, probably, is that he's going to be extremely, extremely competitive within our defensive group to push everyone and push for a starting position and make us better for 2021.
Well, I'm feeling a little bit cantankerous today, Coach. So I'm going to talk about one more thing before we do the announcement. Get them good and riled up in the social media comments before we roll out on this thing. Again, I'm not an expert, right? You've forgotten more about putting together a soccer team than I'll ever learn. But it seems like this offseason has been wildly successful. Can you talk about that? It seems like you're taking a team that performed unbelievably well in a crazy season, and it just seems like you're fortifying it and strengthening it. What's that approach been in these last couple of months?
Yeah, we're incredibly proud of what we did in year one to establish ourselves and our identity and our culture and our style of play. And in year two, I think we really doubled down on that in some trying circumstances. And in year three, as I've communicated a lot, we're trying to reach the goal of bringing a championship and bringing a trophy to a community and a state that deserves that. And we have to reciprocate all the love that we're given to our fan base. And the best way to do that is to try to go for it and bring in more quality people and quality players to help our roster continue to, take steps towards being a championship caliber team. And today's signing, again, it's really special because it's a New Mexican, and, we're thrilled to be able to have somebody that's not only from the state, but extremely talented and going to be a great rookie.
All right. I've teased him enough. Dave, go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage.
Right side, good ball, there it is, and it is the back of the net's found by the Quakers once again by number 16, Alex gets the goal over the red and blue.
Speed, and he does. Nice job to go around Bartel, but he's cut off. Nice double team that time.
Aaron Edwards, good tackle by Touseday. Very good work by there.
And I'll be looking for Alex to kind of coach Philip.
On the whistle, three-man wall form. Brandon Bartel looking far post. It's a goal! Penn wins it in overtime. Tipped away, back in the net. Penn ends the season with a golden goal in double overtime.
Mr. Alexander Touche, Alex to his friends. Welcome to the show, my man. Great to see you. How are you feeling this morning?
Thank you, Lucas. Coach Touseday. Good morning, New Mexico. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be home. I mean, I've been waiting for this opportunity for a long time, and so I can't wait to be here with this community and this amazing fan base. So thank you very much.
I cannot talk about how excited I was to receive that text. Alex, this is a fun fact about you. You were the only new player signing that New Mexico United has ever announced that your contact information was already in my phone. So for those that don't know, Alex was an incredible intern with us, along with his brother Charles, and you could not have started with us earlier, right? If we look at that wall behind you, we see the unity scarf into the New Mexico United Nation. That's a very clear marker of someone who put down a season ticket deposit before we ever had a brand, before we knew what our schedule was going to be. We knew we had Devin Sandoval, but that's about all we knew when that unity scarf was circulating around. So before we jump into you as a player and what you're going to bring to this squad, just talk about those early days. You got to experience a real sort of embryonic development of New Mexico United, and you saw it from day one.
Yeah, I mean, it was an amazing experience, really, to come in. I always knew that New Mexico had extremely passionate soccer fans, soccer community. And so I always thought the success of the team would be that. But, I mean, the way that it's just picked up and the organizations come together has been incredible. I mean, the fan base continues to blow everyone away, I think, across the nation. I mean, I think here in New Mexico, we have the best fans of anywhere, especially anyone in the league. And so working in those early days, it was awesome to get to work with El Jefe, Peter, and then also with Lucas, like get to know everyone. So thank you. I'm excited to be back in the family.
Well, you did incredible work, man. Like you weren't just an intern who was going to get coffee for us. Like you were instrumental in us putting together that international friendly with Cardiff. Like you had real contributions to it. It wasn't like you were just sitting there taking up space. So we were appreciative to have you and glad to have you. And I think anyone who knows your background knows that not only are you a great athlete, but you're a pretty heady dude. I don't know that I would ever even be considered for the alternate list to get into the Wharton School of Business. So we're glad to have that sort of intellectuality. Let's turn it over to the gaffer real fast. Coach, what does Alex bring? What are you excited to see from this young man in 2021?
Well, first off, I think, Alex, what you're seeing from Lucas is he definitely has a great vocabulary, but he's elevated that vocabulary because of your background being an Ivy League student. And
you got to call me out.
We have to do that, buddy, because he's an intelligent young man, as you know, Lucas, both on and off the field. Really top character in terms of just his personality. I think he's going to be someone that is mature beyond his years and going to be a good pro. And specifically to his capability on the field, excellent defender, likes defending. And, you know, that's a characteristic that is not common necessarily in a lot of center backs these days. I think center backs are looked at to be maybe playmakers more so than hard-nosed defenders. The great thing about Alex, though, is he's a combination of both those characteristics. Loves to defend, also can pass, and enjoys what I said about him to one of our press releases is he enjoys being under pressure and making decisions under pressure. So it's a great fit. Love having Alex in our team.
Yeah, if we look at that. Oh no, Sombrero Man's already started with the puns. Fantastic. All right, don't go look at the comments later, Alex. It's just going to be nonstop touche jokes. And I'm sure you're used to him of a lifetime of having that last name. But getting back to that highlight video, there's not only these great tackles, but there's a swagger about them, and I don't mean that's like it's overconfident or it's cocky in any stretch of the imagination, but you get in there and you can tell, like specifically on that last one where you're running that guy down, like there does not seem to be an ounce of doubt in you. You know exactly how you're going to go in on that ball. You know that you're going to be successful. Like just talk about that mentality as a player, because I know you're like a choir boy and a well-spoken Wharton student, and then you get out there and you're an absolute dog.
Oh, thank you, Lucas and Coach. I mean, I love defending. It's always, I think you said it perfectly, Coach, is that some people nowadays don't like the dirty aspect, like getting down and just grinding out results, you know. But I think that's something nowadays it's more important than ever. I mean, if I'm not keeping a clean sheet, I'm not happy, you know. So any goal is too many goals, and I'll do everything I can to keep the ball out of the back of the net, whether it's tackling, clearing, heading the ball, whatever it is. So I love that aspect of the game. I love the other side of the game as well. And I'm hoping that here in New Mexico, I can help the team keep out goals and then let the other guys do what they do best and get some goals on the other side.
So we can't talk about you, Alex, without bragging on sort of the New Mexico developmental system, and that you are a product of a number of amazing coaches here in the land of enchantment. I know that one of them was at Academy. I know that you had a couple of different coaches at the Soul. Can you just talk about some of those great minds and teachers that you had that got you to this point?
Yeah, I had so many good coaches. Moved over from England when I was 10, and since then joined Rio right away. And had some amazing coaches there. It's the Rio Rapids now. I had Coach Hosty, who does commentary. He was one of my first coaches once moving over. And then Sibby Brown, Matt Gordon, Jason Moran. And then at Academy, Coach Colick was amazing. I mean, we reached the state final 4 times while I was there, won it my last 2 years. And I think there's so much talent in coaching. There's so much talent playing-wise. And I think there hasn't always been that pathway in New Mexico. Like you haven't had pro teams. Like when I was growing up before New Mexico United got in, you didn't have something to strive towards. It was tough to see the end goal, but now we have that. And so I'm hoping that players like me coming back in, players like Sergio and Devin, hopefully we can inspire that next generation of young players to help. And now they have that pathway even more with New Mexico United. So.
To get a little philosophical with you here, all right? You don't come from your academic background with us kind of delving into a little bit more thoughtful weeds, but 2020 was far from what you probably imagined it in 2019, right? That was your junior season. You were named the captain. You were the Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year. Just this laundry list of accomplishments from that junior year. And then 2020, man, it broke my heart, the note I had to write on your fact sheet on 2020 that on July 8th, all Ivy League athletics were canceled due to the pandemic. So how did you get through that period of time? How did you keep your mental space, where it needed to be? And how does it feel today knowing that you navigated all of that and it's culminated here?
Yeah, I think it was a tough year. It was a tough year for everyone. I didn't have it as badly as some people, but going into your senior season, you just want to play your heart out. We did really well my junior season, came second in the Ivy League and had aspirations to win it my senior year. So that was difficult, but I think like staying with your team, similar to how I think it is like with New Mexico United, you have your teammates, you each have each other's backs, it's easy to get through it together. But I would have loved to have one last run at Penn. That didn't work out, and I have a great opportunity here with New Mexico United. And so I felt the time was right because I had the opportunity to go back to Penn, but I decided now I want to go play with New Mexico United. It was an offer I couldn't resist, so I can't wait to be here and get started.
Well, now here's the $5 million question, and I guess it's more for Coach than it is for you because you're such a good lad. You'd be helpful in any predicament that I might have. But now that Alex is a first team player, Coach, and I get into an Excel spreadsheet emergency, like, am I still allowed to contact Alex to come and clean that bad boy up for me so we can put out a good ticket model?
I think that we have to leverage the type of intelligence that he has off the field as well, Lucas. We want to continue to help the club improve in any way possible. So absolutely, I think is the answer to that.
He says that now, and then I'll make the request, Alex, and I'll get the mean side of Gaffer. That's for sure. So look, I know you got some other stuff to get to. You have your media interviews. You have a couple other things to take care of. I appreciate you carving out a little while for us to sit here and talk with our fans and really introduce. We'd only have to introduce you to a couple of them. From your time with the Soul and your time at the Academy, I think you're a beloved son of the land of enchantment, and we can't wait to see you get started. So I'll leave the floor to you to say your final goodbyes, and then we'll press on with the day.
Yeah, thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Coach. This has been a lovely opportunity to get to know the fans and get introduced to them. Can't wait to get started. Hopefully the season's not too far away and get to work. So thank you very much.
All right, nation, stay tuned. We're going to have some other posts coming out about Alex, Coach's quote, the numbers that count. And then if you want to head over to the New Mexico United website, we put together a little press release where you can just see this ridiculous list of accomplishments this young man has had. We'll be back the next time we have a player signing for you. So until then, my friends, Somos Unidos.